Hi everyone, here is a brief overview of how our Moodle site will be changing this summer. We're upgrading from Moodle 1.9 to Moodle 2.6, which is pretty exciting. Many things will look very familiar to you, but other things are going to have changed. A lot has been upgraded from between 1.9 and 2.6 in design and functionality, and I just wanted to be able to point out a few things that if you're working on your course over the summer, these may be helpful for you. Okay, so I'm going to use my computer lab page as a demonstration. So here's my lab page from a student view. It's a standard 3-column course where there are blocks on the left and there are blocks on the right, and in the middle is your main course taking up the most screen real estate. And when the kids scroll through, they scroll down and there's topic sections, and each topic section has a title, and you can tell when things are linked. There are icon pictures for PDF, for websites, for Word documents. So for each resource or activity that I put in, you're going to see an icon for. So the forum was the two people looking at each other, and here's a folder, so I know to open the folder and there'll be more documents inside that folder. So all of these things are going to be similar in 2.5, except the icon pictures have changed. You're going to also notice that there is, it says return to my normal role because I'm looking at this as a student. So when I'm in my teacher role, you're going to get the switch role to button. That is going to change in the new Moodle as well. And when I turn my editing on, all of my editing marks load, and all of these editing marks change in the new Moodle as well. Okay, so let's go look at the new Moodle and see a few of the differences, because I'm sure you're pretty familiar with the old Moodle site. So here's my new Moodle site. I transferred my course over into it and it moved over pretty nicely. I still have a 3-column course. I can see the design is a little rounder. This might still change before we finalize the transfer of courses. But you know, my title came over. This is the link. Click here. I can still click there. It's still going to take me to my tip of the day. And there also, here's still my forum. My schedule was a forum. But remember that picture with the two people looking at each other? They have changed. So I still get all editing marks. The editing marks look a little different, but I still have the ability to hover my mouse over them and it will tell me what it does. What's nice about my resources now, I get this new editing mark that looks like a 4-sided arrow. So if I wanted my weekly schedule to be on the top, I put my mouse on the 4-sided arrow. It turns into a 4-sided arrow. I click and hold it down, drag it to where I want it to go. So I just put it on the top. If I decided I wanted this to be at the bottom of another section, I could just continue to pull it down. I have a lot of stuff on this course, so it's moving a little bit slow. If I wanted it to be here between these two resources, I could just drop it off there, and now my schedule is there. I really want it at the top, so I'm just going to click and drag it back up. So that in and of itself makes things much easier, because in the past I needed to click on the move arrows up and down. It opened up all these boxes. I had to pick where I wanted it to go. So it's just easier. I can move it vertically by dragging it around the page and dropping it off where I want it to go. Now I can still move things left and right horizontally by clicking the left and right arrow. It moves a little faster than it did in the previous version, but that still works the same way. Okay, if I needed to hide this on the course, say my course transferred over, but you notice everything is open now instead of hidden like you left it. The eye is still there. The eye just looks a little different. I just think it doesn't have lashes this time. And I just click on it, and when I click on it, you're going to get a slash through it, and you notice that it's grayed out. So that's hidden. If I want to edit the title, I notice like maybe password was spelt wrong. There's this new feature. It's just a pencil. It's just edit title. So if I click on this, I'm going to be able to type over the title on the front page and press enter, and maybe I'll just take this out. If I press enter, it's going to change what it says. Okay? If I decide I don't want to change it, it tells me right here I can press escape and cancel that. So the pencil used to have a hand in it, right? So let's look at the old page. It had this hand holding a pencil, and that would let me update that resource or activity. Now the pencil only lets you edit the title that's showing right here. In order to update or edit the whole entire resource, you need to find the picture of the gear. So if I wanted to update this, I would press on this gear. This is going to be helpful for titles. You used to have a hand with a pencil over here. Now you have a gear. So I need to click on there, and I'm going to see that it's going to open up that text box for me to work in. I used to have this arrow that made this bigger. That's gone. So what I have now is in the bottom right corner is like a pull tab. You notice the corner looks like it has some lines in it. Put your mouse on those lines and then drag it out, and it will make the box bigger for you to work in. Okay? Then you can press Save Changes when you're done. It'll bring me back to my course, or you can always follow the breadcrumb trail. Okay, so the gear is new. There's no more hand with a pencil. You need to click on the gear in order to update or edit any type of resource, activity, label. Okay, so this was like a link to a web page. So if I wanted to change it or update it, I click on the gear now. And then it's going to open that resource up for me, and I can change what I needed to change. I'm just going to use the breadcrumb trail to go back to the course. Okay, so that's basically the changes on the editing marks. The pencil will now change just the title, and the gear is what does all the editing or updating that you need for that resource or activity. Okay, I showed you how you can move files around. I can't just click on the icon and try and move it around. I have to use it from the four-sided arrow. Okay, so that means your editing needs to be on. You need to be on that editing mark, and then you can move it around. I'm just going to move to the bottom of my page. So you'll notice that I have topic 4 is Google, and topic 5 is adding fun to your Moodle page. So next to the topic number is a four-sided arrow. That means I could move my topic boxes to be on top of, move the order of them easily by just dragging them and dropping them off where you want them to go. Okay, so now Google is down here and my adding fun is on top of it. Okay, so this four-sided arrow allows you to drag and drop. You might also notice on my page that I have all these tabs on the side now. Those are actually my blocks. I'm just going to move up to the top. Those are actually these blocks that I didn't close the eye on. So when my course transferred over, I noticed that all of the blocks I had hidden were now open again. So I had to click on the eye for all of those boxes. Okay, then I wanted to keep some, so I kept some. I noticed also there was a minimize button here, minus sign. If I click on that, it's going to allow you to still see my topic section, or my block. I'm sorry, I lost the word for that. But in order to actually access what's in it, you have to hit the plus sign. So you can hide it or keep it open. Okay, so it's not really hidden, it's just collapsed. Expand it or collapse it. Now over here I noticed that there was a little arrow, and if I click on one of those arrows, it took that whole block and docked it on the side of my course as a tab. So I can take any information from a block and click on this little arrow, and it will make it a new tab for me that you can just hover your mouse over to open up. Okay, it's just a nice way to clean up your course if you want to have these as supplemental materials and you want your stuff to be the highlight of the course. You might want to consider docking the blocks, but then teach your students that they need to go check those tabs if they're looking for something. Okay, if I docked it as a tab and now I want it to be a block on the actual page again, just open up that block or the tab and click on the arrow pointing out, and it's going to undock the block. Okay, simple. Now I sometimes, when I'm making my course, I want to see how the students are seeing it, because I have all this grayed out stuff and all these editing marks that sometimes looks confusing to me. So if I go over here, that's where it used to be. It used to say switch role to. Well, that doesn't happen in Moodle 2.6, you have to go into the settings. So I'm going to go over to the settings and I go down. My settings is docked, but yours might be over here as a block. So I'm going to go to settings and down to where it says switch role to. I'm going to go to switch role to and I'm going to choose student. I might have more choices than you, but you should have student as a choice. And now it's going to show you what the page will look like as a student when it reloads. So here's how my students are seeing it. They see the main course here, right? I have some resources, I have a Padlet for them to interact on, I have some more resources, I have some images, I have some blogs for them to follow, and I have some tabs if they want to spend time to look at it, and I also have a block on the side. So it's looking pretty good to me. Alright, if I want to go back and edit some more, on the top right corner, it will say that right now I'm logged in as a student and I can return to my normal role. So I just click on return to normal role and it looks pretty good. So I'm going to turn my editing back on. I just want to show you one other quick feature that I thought was pretty easy to use, that everyone always forgets how to add extra sections at the bottom. And what I liked about the new Moodle is that you don't have to call me to figure it out, right? You can just go to the bottom of your course and there's a plus or a minus sign. So if I want to increase the number of sections, I press the plus sign and it's going to give me another topic. It does take a minute, okay? And if I want to take one away, I can just press the minus sign and then I'll only have 10 topics. Okay, you'll also notice that there is one section now. Instead of adding in a resource and then another section add an activity, they're all in one section. And they all pretty much work the same way. I know for a lot of teachers I work with, they like to use a link to a URL. So what you're going to do is you're going to scroll this down, you're going to choose URL and press add, and it's going to open up the box that you're used to paste your URL in. Give it a name, a description, and the URL. So all of that is still there, it's just all in one section now. So if you're looking to add a forum, you would go to that same section. I'm just going to scroll down, add an activity or a resource, and it still says forum. Okay, it just has different pictures. If you were looking to add a choice or anything that you want is still added right through there. Okay. All right. I look forward to you in my next video will be about how to add files into your new Moodle course. Okay. Have a great day. Thanks.